Welcome back to another deep dive. Today, we're embarking on a journey into the world of money, but it's probably not in the way you might expect. Forget the quick schemes or, market tips. Our sources suggest a much deeper, more personal path. We're going to uncover how our relationship with money is profoundly shaped by our past experiences and, well, our inner world. Okay, let's unpack this.
Exactly. This isn't really about external strategies as much as it is about an inner transformation, one that can unlock abundance and lead to, well, a truly richer life. Lewis Howes's book, Make Money Easy, is a key source for us today and really drives home a crucial point. Money in itself doesn't guarantee happiness. The author observed firsthand many deeply miserable, wealthy people, truly happy individuals with very little money, and even a multimillionaire who tragically ended his own life. It just highlights this fundamental disconnect, doesn't it, between accumulating wealth and finding actual well-being.
Yeah, it really does. And what immediately strikes you right from the start of his book are the raw personal stories. Starting with Lewis's own childhood and his earliest experiences with money. He recounts moments like, palming candy bars as a kid, but then a truly impactful memory of stealing $25 from one of his dad's clients, getting caught and the profound shame that just stuck with him. It's a stark reminder, really, of how our money habits and our very relationship with it are forged through these direct, often formative experiences, sometimes long before we even realize it. So let's dive right into what our sources refer to as your money story. This isn't just about your bank balance. It's the sum total of all the experiences, beliefs, influences that have shaped how you think and act about money your whole life. Lewis Howes shares a powerful personal turning point. His father's devastating car accident when Lewis was 22. His dad was left disabled, medical bills piled up, and their family's financial safety net just vanished when his dad's life insurance business was sold. Lewis found himself without a financial foundation, actually living rent-free on his sister's couch for over a year. He vividly describes hating that feeling, being completely broke and reliant on others, constantly having friends and family pay his way.
And this idea of personal readiness is absolutely central here. Lewis's mentor, Chris Hawker, captured it perfectly with a really powerful insight. Money comes to you when you're ready for it. Now, this isn't just about having your finances sorted. It speaks to an internal readiness, emotional, psychological. It suggests that true, sustainable financial gain often requires significant inner work first to align your mindset before that external abundance can really manifest. And to help us understand these different relationships people have with money, the author outlines 4 money quadrants. Okay, so in quadrant 1, empowered, you have money and you feel peace and freedom. You truly see money as a friend. That's the ideal. Then there's quadrant 2, frustrated. Here you have money but no peace or freedom. Money feels like a failure somehow. Quadrant 3 is happy. You have little to no money, but you do have peace and freedom, even though money might feel like a restriction. And finally, quadrant 4, hopeless. This is the toughest. Little or no money, no peace or freedom, and money is seen as an enemy. The goal, of course, is to consciously shift your mindset and actions to move towards that first quadrant, quadrant 1.
That makes so much sense. But okay, how does one actually shift? From seeing money as an enemy or a restriction to a friend if they feel stuck, our sources suggest it often begins with dismantling what the author calls money lies. These are common, often unconscious beliefs that act as internal barriers. Things like thinking you lack the right training, or you have no time, or you just can't focus enough. Others might feel they have no resources to get started, or they're paralyzed by that fear of the unknown, like, what if I fail? Or what if I succeed and can't handle it? There's an example of a writer and coach who was working as a freelancer earning under $1 an hour. She believed making a lot of money was selling out her creative integrity. She had to actively challenge and change those deeply negative, ingrained beliefs about money to turn her whole financial situation around.
Exactly. And those money lies often have their roots in what our sources term money trauma. Lewis Howes shares a really poignant childhood experience. His treasured U.S. Postal Service piggy bank was stolen, right from under his bed, after he'd shown it to some older kids. But the deeper message he internalized wasn't just the loss of the money itself, it was a feeling that I didn't have much value. Our sources explain that these out-of-alignment exchanges, like stealing or even feeling chronically undervalued in a job where you're not paid what you're worth, can create these emotional wounds around money. Even well-meaning things parents say, like, we can't afford that, or money doesn't grow on trees, when repeated, can inadvertently create a sense of scarcity or limitation down the line.
Wow. It's incredible how those seemingly small early experiences can leave such deep, lasting imprints on our money story. So, okay, once we identify these ingrained patterns, maybe even these traumas, what do the sources suggest is the pathway to healing, to creating a healthier relationship with money?
Right. The healing process is absolutely critical. And it's maybe less about traditional therapy in this context and more about intentional practice. Ken Honda, the author of Happy Money, offers a powerful yet really simple practice, saying arigato or just thank you to money, both when it comes into your life and when it leaves.
Interesting. Both ways.
Both ways. It's not just being polite. It's about fostering a positive energetic flow, shifting your mindset from, say, dread or scarcity to gratitude, which paradoxically makes money kind of want to come back to you. Part of this healing also involves actively forgiving yourself and others for past money mistakes, and consciously practicing new positive responses when those financial triggers hit. Because if your default is to complain about money, you're essentially making it the villain, right? You're pushing it away. Honda also applies those attached relationship styles, caning, avoidant, anxious, or secure, to how we interact with money. An avoidant person might devalue money, push it away. An anxious person frets and clings, constantly seeking validation through it. So the clear goal then is to cultivate a secure, friendly, reciprocal relationship with money.
That really underlines how deeply ingrained these experiences are.
Wow.
Okay, so with that understanding of our past and the potential for healing, how do we start building a new, more empowered relationship with money for the future? Our sources suggest a crucial next step: defining your life's ultimate purpose. Noting that money doesn't decide who you are, it simply reveals more of who you already are. There's this profound, undeniable connection between money and your meaningful mission.
Yeah, what's fascinating here is how money essentially becomes a powerful multiplier for fulfilling that mission. Lewis Howes' own meaningful mission, for instance, is to serve 100 million lives weekly by helping them improve the quality of their lives and overcome the things that hold them back. Here. Now, to scale an impact like that, creating a globally recognized show, hiring a team, distributing content to millions, well, money is absolutely essential. It's the fuel that lets a vision become a vast reality.
Which leads us right to the priority pendulum, that classic debate, right? Focus on money first or passion and mission first. Lewis Howes firmly believes that starting with your meaningful mission, defining your why, and then strategically monetizing it in alignment with that purpose. Well, that's the most effective and fulfilling approach. He stresses, don't let the how stop you from focusing on and pursuing your why. It's about finding that sweet spot where passion, money, and practical reality intersect, even if it means doing things you don't fully love for a season to gain a foothold and fund your bigger vision.
Absolutely. And before you even start mapping out the how, our sources emphasize this critical step of defining what rich actually means to you. The classic fisherman story illustrates this just perfectly. You know the one. An ambitious Harvard MBA tries to convince a simple fisherman to expand his business for 25 years, promising he'll become a millionaire, eventually able to retire and live a simple life, fishing, spending time with family, enjoying music, and the fisherman's response is so profound. With all due respect, sir, that's exactly what I'm doing right now. I don't see the point in wasting 25 years.
Right.
It's such a powerful reminder that clarity on your own definition of a rich life is paramount. Before you start planning or chasing someone else's idea of success.
Once you have that personal clarity, then it's about embracing what the author calls the mapping habit, and a crucial idea tied to it. If you never map out your future, you'll tend to retrace your past. Daisy. The author illustrates this by recalling how he challenged his own mother. She'd always dreamed of traveling to Hawaii, but never thought it possible. They sat down, outlined a simple plan, and just 2 weeks later, she was there. It's a powerful demonstration, isn't it? How even small, intentional steps, once clearly mapped, can build incredible momentum and open doors.
Yeah, building on that, one kind of counterintuitive strategy our sources offer is lowering your standards. Now, this doesn't mean aiming for less overall, but rather starting small. Taking one consistent, manageable action toward your goal instead of trying to overhaul everything overnight. This builds immediate momentum, reinforces positive habits, and strengthens your pause and plan instinct, making you less likely to get sidetracked. This also ties into Bill Perkins's concept of memory dividends, the idea of consciously investing in experiences that yield rich memories over time rather than constantly putting joy off. Jesse Itzler's Big Ass Calendar is a practical tool for this, allowing you to actually map out a rich year, prioritizing those signature experiences and adventures that will truly pay dividends in memories later on.
And as a testament to the power of a clear vision plus consistent action, Lewis Howes recalls a pivotal moment. He was still broke, living on his sister's couch. He wrote down this audacious goal. I will make $5,000 from a speech in 9 months. He signed it, framed it, put it on his wall. Then he acted daily, practicing public speaking, networking, even though he literally trembled with nerves. And sure enough, just before that 9-month mark, he delivered his first $5,000 speech. It's a compelling example of how a defined vision can really pull you forward. Okay, now let's zoom in on 7 key money habits for financial freedom that our sources outline. And these aren't just one-time steps, are they? They're consistent practices to cultivate for a truly richer, more aligned life.
Exactly. Let's begin with habit 1, the mindset habit, which is all about living generously. The core idea here is that gratitude is the gateway to abundance, and that success starts to accelerate when you begin to give. End quote. Lewis's own story illustrates this perfectly. At his very first mastermind event, he started offering free LinkedIn advice to successful entrepreneurs. He expected absolutely nothing in return. What's truly remarkable is that within 3 months, that act of pure generosity unexpectedly led to $500,000 in new business for him. It speaks to this energetic reciprocity that goes beyond simple transactions.
It's almost like planting generosity seeds, isn't it? The author shares a childhood memory of going with his dad and sisters to Camp Wilson, spending a hot summer day planting over 1,000 seedling trees. He complained at first, naturally, but 30 years later, he saw an entire forest. He realized his dad's profound lesson about serving others, about planting for a future you might not even directly enjoy. Tony Robbins has a similar famous story. At 17, with only $26 to his name, he felt compelled to give his last $17 to a boy treating his mom to dinner. When he got home, apparently a check for all the money he was owed was waiting in the mail. It highlights how these acts, coming from a place of abundance, not scarcity, can shift your reality.
And this mindset shift is critical because our sources emphasize that thinking you don't have enough or you don't deserve it can literally stop the flow of money into your life. It creates a block. Rhonda Byrne, the author of The Secret, openly shared her financial struggles and how she reprogrammed her mindset through these playful daily affirmations. She would deliberately add zeros to bills she received, visually transforming them into much larger sums she was receiving. Or she'd reframe payments as donations to the company providing the service. This wasn't about denying reality. It was about shifting her emotional state from dread to positive energy, helping her become what she calls a money magnet.
Okay, let's move on to habit 3, the monetizing habit. This centers on truly appreciating your own value. Allison Felix, the most decorated track and field athlete in history, offers such a powerful recent example here. She courageously fought Nike for maternal protections and contracts, ultimately walking away when they initially refused her terms, which took guts. She then went on to co-create her own shoe brand, Sash, specifically designed for women's feet, after discovering most athletic shoes were actually based on men's molds. What's truly fascinating here is how she not only understood her immense value, but also stood her ground, fighting for the value and needs of other women in her sport. Incredible.
Her story perfectly underscores Sally Hogshead's wisdom. Different is better than better. It's about your uniqueness. Our sources outline a value appreciation ladder to help you monetize that unique value. First, you have to recognize your own talents, skills, unique perspectives. Second, give that value to others, maybe even for free initially, to gain experience and create a ripple effect. Third, grow your value through continuous learning, staying current in your field. Fourth, package your value effectively through personal branding, marketing, make it clear and appealing. And finally, scale your value. This often involves leveraging technology and people, which we'll touch on again later.
That latter is incredibly insightful. But a huge, often unseen barrier to monetizing your value is self-doubt, isn't it? The author explicitly states, self-doubt is the killer of dreams. Building confidence, particularly in articulating and charging for your value, is just crucial. It starts with small, consistent steps, curating positive messages, engaging in positive self-talk, and purposefully surrounding yourself with supportive people who actually see your worth. Even helping someone who knows less than you can be a powerful confidence booster.
Definitely. Next up is habit 4, the mastermind habit. This focuses on finding and cultivating influential relationships. Lewis Howes' own life provides a great example of this transformative power of connections. After breaking his wrist, he invented a cast sleeve cover. A friend introduced him to inventor Chris Hawker, who offered Lewis an internship. Now, Lewis didn't earn much financially from it, but he gained invaluable experience in graphic design, sales, marketing, all sorts of things. Critically, he had an hour-long walk weekly with Hawker, just soaking up foundational business wisdom. And it was this same Chris Hawker who first planted that seed, telling him money comes to you when you're ready for it. It shows how these early connections provided profound foundational wisdom.
That's such a full circle moment, isn't it? The key here, as the author emphasizes, is to first genuinely ask, what can I do for you? Rather than focusing solely on what you can get out of it. Patrick Bet-David, a highly successful entrepreneur, cultivated a long-term, service-based relationship with an interviewer he met early on. For years, he'd offer help, send books, without ever asking for anything back. Years later, that very individual gave Patrick a pivotal referral that helped him open his entire business in Florida. It shows the incredible long-term payoff of patience and that service-first approach.
It really highlights the long game of building genuine connections, doesn't it? Our sources strongly encourage actively finding financial mentors, people who are where you want to be, and joining mastermind groups. Even if you're just starting out, you can initiate something simple, like a free Think and Grow Rich book club. Build a network, discuss concepts, provide accountability, push each other toward greater financial literacy and growth together.
Then we get to habit 5, the magnetic habit. This is about becoming an enrollment artist. So, what exactly is enrollment? Well, it's essentially the art of passionately inviting others to align with and support your vision or endeavor, making them genuinely want to get on board with what you're doing. The author shares a great example. He landed a $6,200 speaking gig after just a 2-minute passionate conversation about LinkedIn with internet pioneer Joel Comm. His sheer enthusiasm and belief were magnetic.
And this magnetism, the sources explain, stems from what the author calls the personal power principle. How well you lead yourself determines your personal power to lead others. It starts within. To build this internal authority, this self-leadership, David Goggins, the retired Navy SEAL, uses a technique called wind stacking. Before even opening his phone, he does 15 small, intentional tasks daily, like making his bed, shaving his head, cleaning the bathroom, simple things. But they build momentum and a positive mindset, proving to himself he can execute.
Wow, wind stacking. I like that. And the power of sustained value and unwavering passion is really illustrated in Lewis's own journey to enroll key people. He spent 5 years pursuing literary agent Stephen Hanselman to represent him, consistently providing value without an immediate ask, just building trust. And it took a multi-year effort to get Tony Robbins on his podcast, even offering to fly anywhere, meet him literally on his plane on the runway just for a few minutes. His flexibility and sheer dedication showed he was willing to invest, which formed the foundation for these mutually beneficial long-term relationships.
This also brings to mind Grant Cardone's undercover billionaire experience. Remember that. He went undercover to prove you don't need money to make money, but rather connections and the right mindset. In one memorable instance, a potential investor missed a massive opportunity simply by treating Grant, who was disguised as a nobody, poorly. It's such a stark reminder that you don't know who you're dealing with and the profound importance of treating everyone with respect. They could be a pivotal future connection.
Absolutely. Okay, from becoming an enrollment artist, we shift gears to habit 6, the mobility habit. This is all about delegating to empower others. The author stresses that the helicopter entrepreneur mindset, the tendency to try and do everything yourself, is a trap. It ultimately limits your scale. He states it plainly. You need others to do truly great things. If you want to scale your impact and income, you absolutely need to learn to delegate ruthlessly and effectively.
Yeah, can't do it all alone. The sources outline 3 leverages for scaling your efforts: technology, media, and labor. Technology involves using tools, like AI maybe, to automate repetitive tasks, saving significant time and money. Media means leveraging content, video, audio, books to replicate your message and multiply your impact, reaching far more people than you ever could one-on-one. And labor, well, that involves intelligently delegating tasks to people. Lewis gives tangible examples from his own team, like Sarah Livingstone, his personal assistant, and Matt Cesarato, his COO. They handle complex operations, allowing Lewis to focus on his unique strengths, his higher-value activities.
And as Rachel Rogers, a highly successful entrepreneur, wisely advises, get a personal assistant as soon as you possibly can. She explains that even if it's just for a few hours a week initially, it teaches you absolutely essential delegation and leadership skills. Skills you'll need to run a larger team and scale your business later on. It forces you to clarify, communicate, and trust.
It really comes down to understanding and calculating your hourly worth. It's a practical step. If you divide your desired annual income by the hours you plan to work, you get your effective hourly rate. Then, if there are tasks you're currently doing that you could pay someone less than that hourly rate to complete, well, you should probably delegate them. This frees you up to focus on higher value activities, areas where you can truly make an impact and earn more. You're effectively mobilizing a team to cover your weaknesses and achieve collective greatness.
Right, makes total sense.
Okay, our final habit is habit 7, the mastery habit. This is all about cultivating your money wisdom. And this becomes incredibly urgent when you consider the widespread financial literacy problem we see, certainly in the U.S. More than 3 in 4 Americans live paycheck to paycheck. A quarter haven't saved for retirement. A fifth lack emergency savings. It's worrying. And this crisis is often perpetuated because money remains this, like, hush-hush topic in families, leaving kids ill-prepared for the financial realities of the adult world.
To counteract this, the core message from our sources is crystal clear. If you want to earn more, you need to learn more. It's about continuous education. They introduce the financial knowledge flow. Phase 1 is to learn diligently from experts, books, podcasts, mentors. Be a student. Phase 2 is to share what you've learned with peers who are in a similar boat, which reinforces your own understanding. And Phase 3 is to teach others who might not have access to the same information. That's really the highest form of learning. This continuous flow not only increases your own wisdom, but also helps build a more financially literate community around you.
And while many of these concepts might seem straightforward, our sources highlight how consistently missing these fundamentals is often the biggest barrier, even for people who technically know them. A foundational text for this, revisited through a modern lens in our sources, is The Richest Man in Babylon. It offers 7 timeless lessons. We can update them for today. 1, pay yourself first, like putting on your own oxygen mask. David Bach suggests saving 1 hour's worth of your daily earnings. Kevin O'Leary advocates 10% of every penny you earn. Find what works. 2, control your expenditures. Sounds simple, but it's about mindful spending, avoiding that lifestyle creep. 3, make your money multiply. Invest wisely, stocks, bonds, IRAs, 401ks with a consistent long-term plan. 4, protect your money from losses. Ramit Sethi suggests checking your portfolio, maybe only monthly, to avoid reactive, emotional decisions. Diversify, and never invest more than you can truly afford to lose. 5, own your home or other assets equity. Building equity, whether in real estate or a stake in a company, is a powerful wealth builder. 6, ensure a future income. Proactively build a personal brand, showcase your talents online, maybe cultivate a reliable side hustle. And 7, increase your ability to earn. Continuously raise your rates if appropriate, create more valuable products or services, or build an experienced team that amplifies your output.
And Lewis Howes himself shares some pretty stark learning from mistakes anecdotes that really underscore the importance of this mastery habit. He lost $25,000 on angel investing and a whopping $100,000 on crypto. Both times, he admits, without doing proper, thorough research beforehand. These significant losses, he notes, were actually incredibly valuable lessons in financial literacy and risk assessment. They taught him to slow down, assess thoroughly, seek expert feedback, and learn diligently before taking big financial risks. So even big losses can be powerful teachers on the path to mastery if you learn from them.
What a journey we've taken together today, exploring how deeply personal our relationship with money truly is, transforming that relationship, and diligently cultivating these habits. Well, it isn't a single destination, is it? It's an ongoing process of growth, self-awareness, and continuous learning.
Absolutely. And as you reflect on all this, maybe consider this provocative thought. What is one small, consistent action you can take today, maybe starting tomorrow morning, to cultivate just one of these habits? The journey to financial mastery, it never truly ends. But the rewards of continuous learning and consistent application leading to enduring financial peace and a truly richer life, well, those are immeasurable.
Hey there, have you ever looked at your bank account or thought about your spending and just felt like money is, well, complicated?
Yeah, like it has a mind of its own sometimes, and you're just trying to keep up.
Exactly. Well, today we're doing a deep dive into the surprising, often really emotional truth about your relationship with money. We're drawing some incredible insights from Lewis Howes' book, Make Money Easy.
It's so true. For so many of us, our financial behaviors, our beliefs, they're not just about logic or spreadsheets, are they?
Not at all.
They're deeply rooted in our past, stuff that shapes everything, how we spend, how we save, gosh, even our sense of self-worth. So our mission with this deep dive is really to help you uncover your own unique money story, your style, understand the impact of any past money traumas.
Right.
And most importantly, learn how to genuinely reset your mindset to align money with what you actually care about most, your meaningful mission. You're about to discover how to really make money easy for you.
Okay, so Lewis Howes kicks off his book with a really powerful personal story, kind of sets the scene. He talks about stealing money from his father's client when he was a kid. The deep shame that followed and how that, plus money just being this hush-hush topic in his family, really shaped his views for years. It immediately makes you reflect, doesn't it?
Absolutely. You start thinking, how much of my current money stuff is influenced by things I saw or felt as a kid?
Exactly.
And that shame Lewis describes, it's so powerful because it shows just how deeply emotional this relationship with money really is.
Yeah.
What's fascinating is he immediately zeroes in on that. Money isn't just numbers, it's this intimate emotional connection we have.
Right.
He points out the huge financial literacy problem, noting that over 3/4 of Americans live paycheck to paycheck.
Which is staggering.
It is. And he argues it isn't just about not knowing how to budget, but often about not understanding our fundamental relationship with money.
Okay.
So connecting this bigger picture, Howes is very clear about what money is not. It's not your savior, it's not your enemy, and it's definitely not something you can just avoid.
So if it's none of those things, what is it then?
Well, he says money is an amplifier. It's a game. It's energy. And it's a resource.
That idea of money being an amplifier, that feels pretty significant. What does he really mean by that?
It essentially magnifies what's already inside you. So if you're naturally generous, having more money lets you be more generous.
Makes sense.
But if you tend toward anxiety or fear around finances, unfortunately, more money can just amplify that stress. It's not the money itself, it's what you bring to it.
Ah, okay.
And then he introduces this financial freedom framework. It's got 4 quadrants: empowered, frustrated, happy, and hopeless. Think of them as different states of being with money.
So like different relationships you might have.
Exactly. Empowered is where you feel in control, peaceful. Frustrated might be someone who has money but feels trapped by it. Hopeless is feeling totally defeated.
And the goal is?
The ultimate goal, he emphasizes, is to consciously move towards that empowered feeling. To start seeing money as, well, a friend, a tool.
Okay, so how do we get there? How do we move towards empowered? He shares this key realization from his mentor, right? Chris Hocker.
Yes. Money comes to you when you're ready for it.
That really shifts the perspective, doesn't it? Away from just chasing external strategies.
Totally. Like finding the hot stock or whatever.
Right. And more towards internal preparation. Working on yourself first.
Absolutely. It reframes the whole thing. It suggests the most important financial work might actually be that internal work mindset, readiness, not just the external tactics.
Which brings us perfectly into digging deeper into our internal landscape. Chapter 2. This is where it gets really compelling. Howes opens it with a really stark story about a multimillionaire who tragically died by suicide.
Yeah, that's a heavy start.
It is. But it's such a powerful reminder that having immense wealth doesn't automatically mean happiness or inner peace. It just highlights that these money wounds, as he calls them, they're real, regardless of your bank balance.
Exactly. And that's precisely why it's so critical to uncover your personal money lies or money stories. These narratives we tell ourselves, often subconsciously,
Right.
that can completely block our financial well-being. He lists some common ones. Things like, I wasn't trained, I don't have time, I lack focus, no resources, fear of the unknown.
Oh, yeah, I can see people nodding along to those. Lack of self-worth, thinking money is bad, self-sabotage, lack of connections.
Yeah, you probably recognize some of those thoughts in yourself, right?
Clearly.
The critical insight he offers here is, your money story is true for you and shapes everything you do. It's like your financial operating system.
He uses Jen Sincero's story as an amazing example. Going from starving artist making almost nothing.
Yeah, that you are a badass author.
That's her. To becoming a New York Times bestseller.
Eh.
And her big shift wasn't some new technique at first. It was deciding to believe awesome things instead about money, investing in herself.
It's such a powerful testament to changing that internal narrative, isn't it?
It really is.
So, to help you identify your story, Howes gives 7 reflective questions. Things like, what did you learn about money as a child? Or, what words do you use when you talk about money?
And the point isn't judgment, right?
No, not at all. It's just observation, gaining clarity on your current relationship, which then leads you to define what being rich actually means to you.
Going beyond just the dollar amount.
Exactly. Like Ramit Sethi talks about, maybe your rich life is about lavish travel, or maybe it's never having to check the price of organic blueberries, or funding a passion project. It's personal.
Okay, so once you've started to understand your money story, that underlying narrative, how does that connect to your everyday habits? Howes then shifts to money style in Chapter 3.
Right. And he challenges those fixed labels we often use, like, oh, I'm just a spender, or I'm naturally a saver.
As if it's set in stone.
Exactly. Instead, he introduces money style as your sort of natural behavioral tendencies. But crucially, these tendencies are then shaped, often amplified, by your money story.
Ah, okay. So style is the tendency, story is the filter it goes through.
That's a great way to put it. And this distinction is vital because your style and your story don't have to dictate your future strategy. He gives this formula: style x story, strategy.
Style times story equals strategy.
Okay, which means you have the power to change the story part and therefore craft a completely new, more effective strategy. He even has a fun assessment to identify your primary style: the director, the energizer, the shepherd, or the analyzer.
Each with their own strengths, I assume.
Definitely. Like, the director might be great at planning, budgeting, always knows the numbers.
Yeah.
The energizer brings enthusiasm, may be great at spotting opportunities.
But then there are the shadow sides, right? If you take it too far.
Exactly. Every hero has a villain, or in this case, a shadow. The director can become the dictator to controlling, rigid.
I can picture that.
The energizer becomes the eccentric, impulsive, maybe scattered. The shepherd, who wants to care for everyone, can become the doormat, giving too much away.
And the analyzer.
Becomes the perfectionist. Stuck in analysis paralysis, never actually doing anything.
Oof. Yeah, those shadows can definitely turn strengths into major barriers.
For sure. And your money story. It acts like that multiplying factor. It can either align with your style positively, amplify the good stuff, or push you right into that shadow behavior. Like Katie Milkman, the behavioral expert, suggests the key is figuring out what are your specific barriers, and then matching your strategy, your tools, to overcome what's holding you back.
So the good news is, you're not stuck with old labels.
Not at all. You can understand this, peel off those old labels, and consciously create a new, healthier money strategy.
Okay, so we've dug into understanding the story and the style. Now it feels like we're ready for step 2. Hitting that reset button.
Yeah.
Chapter 4 dives right into healing your relationship with money.
Yeah, and he starts with another vivid story, this time from Grant Cardone.
Right, the lost quarter.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Losing a quarter as a kid and his grandfather's advice. Never go anywhere with just one quarter to lose.
It sounds simple, but it really highlights that need to take care of money, maybe have a buffer, so you're not always operating out of fear.
Precisely. And Cardone points out how money is often kept secret, like other addictions or struggles, because people avoid really looking at it, accounting for it, and he stresses, until you heal your relationship with money, nothing can change for the better. Jane Shetty says something similar, doesn't he?
Yeah, about being uncomfortable addressing money means you spend more time obsessed with the lack of it.
It's that cycle. Avoidance leads to obsession with scarcity. Facing it starts the healing.
Lewis Howes himself gets really vulnerable here, sharing his own money traumas, from not being able to afford a Nintendo.
Yeah, relatable childhood stuff.
To feeling like he didn't have much value unless he could pay his own way. He admits to overworking, feeling anxious, even when he did have money.
And he connects those reactive behaviors like overspending or workaholism directly back to past experiences, feeling taken advantage of, that feeling of being out of alignment. It really resonates how old patterns just keep cropping up.
It really does.
And Scott Donnell calls money trauma the only trauma that we wake up and work for the rest of our lives.
Wow, that's intense.
It is, because we have to engage with money constantly. It's not something you can just put away. And these wounds, he argues, carry an energy.
And the energy.
Yeah, and they can attract similar negative energy or experiences. So healing them isn't just about feeling better emotionally. It's about opening yourself up energetically to attract more positive abundance, healthier financial outcomes.
So what does this mean practically for you, the listener? How do you start that healing? Lewis suggests treating money like a friend.
Echoing Ken Hanna's advice. Saying arigato, thank you, when money comes in and when it goes out, creating that positive flow.
Ken Honda even says, imagine money is a person. If you complain about it all the time.
Would that person want to hang around you? Probably not.
Right. It sounds simple, but it's a powerful reframing.
It really is. And it connects to Joe Dispenza's work, too. You don't necessarily need to erase the event of the wound, but you can heal the memory, the emotional charge tied to it.
Okay, healing the memory.
Which allows you to be driven by your future vision, your meaningful mission, instead of being driven by past anger or fear or shame.
So Howes gives some concrete steps for this money therapy.
He does. Things like identify your triggers, journal about your feelings, talk to someone safe about it, forgive yourself, forgive others involved in past money hurts, practice new responses in triggering situations, create healthy boundaries, and motivate yourself to grow.
It sounds like building a secure attachment, like in relationships.
That's a perfect analogy, moving towards feeling emotionally secure and trusting with money instead of anxious or avoidant.
Which leads us beautifully into the final piece, connecting money to your deeper purpose. Chapter 5 tackles that common fear, doesn't it? The fear of becoming bad or greedy if you get wealthy.
Yes, and Lewis is really clear. Money doesn't decide who you are. It simply reveals more of who you already are.
So it's a tool, an amplifier, like you said earlier.
Exactly. A tool and a catalyst for doing good, for magnifying your positive impact.
And this ties directly into finding your meaningful mission.
Right. A mission, he says, has to be personal. It has to resonate deeply. It calls you to something bigger than just yourself. He shares his own to serve 100 million lives weekly.
Wow.
And he asks you to consider, how could money multiply your ability to fulfill your mission, whatever that might be for you? It's about aligning wealth with values.
He talks about that priority pendulum, the debate about making money first versus following passion first.
He acknowledges people like Mark Cuban saying, follow the money first, and his own early path.
And he warns about it too, right?
Yeah, the danger of inauthenticity or that feeling of never enough, especially if you haven't done that healing work around your relationship with money. Just chasing dollars can feel empty.
So it's not just about the money itself.
No. He advocates for the meaningful mission zone, that sweet spot where your passion, making money, and, reality all intersect.
The sweet spot, I like that.
And the key insight is, don't let the how stop you from focusing on and pursuing your why.
Meaning, don't get bogged down in the logistics before you're clear on the mission.
Exactly. Be adaptable. Learn the skills you need. Overcome those fears, like the fear of actually monetizing your mission.
He uses his own journey as an example, again, from football to LinkedIn consulting to building the School of Greatness. Always adapting, finding ways to fund the mission.
And he emphasizes, it is okay to make money in pursuit of your mission. It's not selling out.
Right. It's fueling the impact.
Which brings up that powerful question he discussed with Jay Shetty. Can you make money and be spiritual at the same time?
That's a big one for a lot of people.
Huge. And Jay, who struggled financially even with viral content, had this realization. If we believe spiritual people must be poor, that implies wealthy people can't be spiritual. Is that really the world we want?
Good point.
The consensus they reached. Money, especially in the hands of good people aiming to do good, can profoundly multiply positive impact.
You think of people like Oprah, or maybe people in your own town doing great things with their resources. House mentions Timothy Sykes.
Right, millionaire by 21, now focused on philanthropy, saying the material stuff isn't ultimately fulfilling.
It's about what your money can do.
Exactly. And when your mission empowers others, it creates this amazing renewable energy for you too. It fuels you back.
Wow. What an incredible journey we've taken today. Really unpacking this stuff from understanding the deep roots of your money story, your natural money style,
to the really profound process of healing those past money wounds.
And then finally, connecting your financial goals to a meaningful mission that actually lights you up. It really is about so much more than just the numbers in an account.
Absolutely. Remember, money isn't the ultimate goal here. It's that amplifier. It reveals who you are and helps you bring more of what you value into the world. By doing that internal work, really looking at your beliefs and aligning your actions with a purpose that matters to you, you genuinely can cultivate a relationship with money that feels secure, fulfilling, and truly abundant.
So as you continue your own deep dive after listening, here's something to chew on, a provocative thought. What single belief about money are you ready to challenge, starting right now, to unlock your most abundant and purposeful future? Hey everyone, and welcome back to The Deep Dive. Ever wondered if your relationship with money could feel, less like a struggle and more like a magnet for opportunity? Today, we're digging into a really fascinating book, Make Money Easy, and pulling out its core wisdom on how to literally prepare yourself for more wealth. We're specifically focusing on step 3, which is all about harnessing what the author calls the 7 money habits.
That's right. And for this deep dive, we're zeroing in on the first 5 of these habits that covers chapters 6 through 10 of the book. Our mission for you today is really to extract the most important, maybe even surprising nuggets from these chapters. We want to show you how these subtle shifts in mindset and action can potentially lead to pretty dramatic change in your financial well-being.
Yeah, think of it as a shortcut, maybe, to truly understanding how to heal that relationship with money and, position yourself for abundance, really no matter where you're starting from. So where do we start peeling back the layers on this? Habit 1.
Yep. Habit 1. The author calls it the mindset habit. It's from chapter 6. And it's centered on generosity and gratitude.
Okay, generosity and gratitude. It sounds almost too simple, doesn't it?
It can seem that way on the surface, but the core idea presented is that gratitude is the gateway to abundance, and success starts to accelerate when you begin to give. There's actually a really striking example the author gives right off the bat, his own story.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, he's at some mastermind event, felt totally intimidated, But instead of shrinking back, he just jumped in and started helping other people with their LinkedIn strategy. No expectation of return.
Okay, and what happened?
Well, within 3 months, that apparently led to 5 webinars and $500,000 in business.
$500,000, wow.
Yeah, which was a huge leap from his previous $250,000 a year. It really illustrates how giving first can kind of unlock unexpected receiving.
Okay, that story definitely highlights an immediate, almost transactional payoff. But what about situations where the return isn't money, or maybe it takes years? How do the authors suggest we cultivate generosity when, our own resources feel tight, or maybe we're just skeptical about this whole abundance thing?
That's a really good point, because it's definitely not always about a direct, immediate transaction like that. The book emphasizes that giving is, it's a mindset first. A willingness to share your resources, knowledge, talent, time, energy without that constant expectation. And the flip side, which is inseparable, is gratitude. Giving just out of guilt. That's not real generosity, according to the text.
Right, the intention matters.
Yeah.
And can gratitude literally make you richer? That feels like a pretty bold claim.
Yeah, it does sound bold. The source points to Dr. Laurie Santos at Yale. She hosts the Happiness Lab podcast. She shared a study where people who spent, say, $20 on someone else actually felt better than those who spent it on themselves.
Interesting. So happiness leads to opportunity.
Kind of. The text connects it like this. Generous people are grateful people. Grateful people are happier people. Happier people attract more opportunities. So it's less magic, more like a psychological and social chain reaction. To guide your actions, the author suggests asking yourself, what would a generous person do here? And what would a grateful person do? It shifts the focus from how much you give to being the kind of person who gives.
I like that framing, being that person. It feels less transactional, more about identity.
Exactly. And there's this powerful story in the book about planting generosity seeds. The author remembers planting trees with his dad as a kid, complaining about the heat, only to go back 30 years later and see a whole forest. It ties into that proverb, the true meaning of life is to plant trees under whose shade you do not expect to sit. Captures that long-term, non-transactional vibe.
And then there's the classic Tony Robbins story, right? Giving away his last few dollars.
Yeah, at 17, only $26 left. Gives $17 to a kid treating his mom, gets home, finds a check for money he was owed. The book is careful, though it says this isn't some magic formula.
Right. But for someone really struggling with scarcity, that kind of leap, it might feel impossible. Does the book offer baby steps? Maybe.
Yeah.
Beyond just give first.
It does. It underscores this idea. If you show yourself to be a good steward of money when you have little, money will naturally flow to you more. It knows it can trust you.
Yeah.
So it's about building this container of generosity and gratitude so what you make doesn't just leak out. Even tiny acts of generosity, like giving a penny, demonstrate that stewardship to yourself and maybe, to the universe, as the book suggests.
Doesn't leak out. I know that feeling. You're trying to fill a leaky bucket. So how do we actually plug those leaks beyond just being generous? Is it just about mindset?
Mindset is huge, but there's also this concept of compounding generosity. The author really stresses this isn't a get-rich-quick thing. He uses Ed Milet's analogy of compound, pounding, a piñata, you hit it, nothing happens, then suddenly, boom. So it takes time, invisible progress. Exactly. You have to survive the temporary when it feels like nothing's working. Think of Chris Anderson at TED, giving away the TED Talk brand for free. That led to like 70,000 TEDx events.
Wow. That's huge impact.
Huge. It's about giving away value, building trust, building that reputation. That's the non-leaking container.
And a big part of this seems to be reprogramming our internal chatter about money.
Absolutely crucial. The chapter talks about becoming a money magnet by literally changing your thought script. Rhonda Byrne, from The Secret, she highlights how we unintentionally block money flow by thinking things like, I don't have enough, I don't deserve it, or believing all that negative stuff we inherited about money, or thinking our current job is the only way.
It's like a self-fulfilling prophecy.
Totally.
I love that practical tip from Rhonda Byrne getting bills and exclaiming, "Whoa, I just got $1,200 in the mail," reframing it as a donation.
Yeah. Or adding zeros to bank statements just to feel abundant. Ken Honda's kindness factor idea reinforces that playful energy.
So it's about finding ways to flip the script and release playful energy toward money.
Exactly. And the book gives simple daily practices for you to try. Give some money away, even a tiny bit. Decide you'll find a certain amount of money just for fun. Practice gratitude, daily list things, tell people. Small, consistent actions.
And the game plan section really makes it concrete, doesn't it?
Yeah, gratitude is free with daily prompts. Give away money today. Practical ideas like donating or buying coffee, and plant a few generosity seeds, thinking long-term, like mentoring. Actionable stuff.
Okay, let's transition. Habit 2, the mapping habit from Chapter 7, Planning Your Life. The author's personal story here is pretty intense, 13 years old, mapping out how to get into a boarding school hours away against the odds.
It really is. Hounding his parents, finding scholarships, promising to work hard, and he credits that early planning for his success now. That's some serious focus for a kid.
It makes you wonder, though, if planning is so powerful, why do so many of our plans just fizzle out?
Good question. The chapter points out common reasons. Losing motivation, getting stuck in routines, distracting ourselves, scrolling instead of doing, or getting overwhelmed by the next step, staying in the comfort zone. And avoiding those prosperous habits, maybe falling into a victim mindset instead of being the hero of your own story, not educating yourself.
So the key seems to be defining your money vision first.
Exactly. The book uses that classic story, the fisherman and the Harvard MBA.
Right. The MBA wants the fisherman to build this huge empire over decades.
Only to end up retiring to the exact simple life the fisherman already has.
Yeah.
The lesson is crystal clear. You must know what kind of rich life you want before you can plan to live it, and only you can define that. If you're unclear, that's when anxiety and stress creep in. The author shares his own evolved vision, not just financial, but emotional, spiritual growth, relationships, impact. It's holistic.
Now, here's a tool that sounds, counterintuitive. Lower your standards. How does that fit with aiming high?
It sounds weird, Reyes, but it's about consistency, not perfectionism, which can paralyze you. Kelly McGonigal, the willpower expert, talks about willpower as just aligning choices with goals, even when it's hard. Lowering standards means starting with one tiny, consistent action to build momentum, like maybe just one push-up, not 50. It strengthens that pause and plan muscle, seeing distractions as threats and having a small action ready.
Okay, that makes more sense, like building a habit muscle.
Exactly. Then there's the idea of your rich year and memory dividends. Bill Perkins, who wrote Die with Zero, argues for spending on experiences now when you get the most fulfillment, not waiting until you're too old or unable.
Like that sad story of the couple in Greece who couldn't climb the stairs anymore.
Precisely. Jesse Itzler's big-ass calendar idea is about scheduling those big signature experiences first, like one a quarter, and then fitting work around them.
That really flips the script from work then play.
Totally. But what if planning a whole year feels like too much? The chapter asks a great question. What would a rich day in your life look like if you didn't spend a dime? It forces you to realize the richest moments are often about connection, fun, overcoming stuff money doesn't always buy. It helps clarify that vision.
Then the book pushes you to map your next steps, using Patrick Bet-David's idea of the power of sequencing.
Right. The author gives his own example, setting a goal for $5K from a speech in 9 months, breaking it down, working daily, achieving it. Sequence matters.
And he gives those critical questions for you to ask. How much? Why? What will I do with it? When? What fears? What do I need to learn? Who to connect with? Skills to master? Actions to take?
Yeah, getting specific. Because you are what you think. Your internal monologue shapes everything.
So to know the numbers, the steps are 1, envision the goal, make it stretch you. 2, do the math, break it down, monthly, weekly, daily, hourly. 3, brainstorm ideas to create income. Okay, this brainstorm ideas part, this is often where people get stuck, right? Does the source offer any specific techniques if someone feels they just don't have valuable skills?
It emphasizes looking beyond just your current job title. Think about problems you see, unique perspectives you have, even hobbies or things you do easily that others find hard. It's about connecting dots, maybe looking at how others monetized seemingly unrelated things. Think laterally.
Okay, so broaden the brainstorming. Then what?
Then 4, create your plan based on those numbers and ideas. And 5, the big one, just do it. Take intentional action every single day. Small steps consistently.
And the game plan gives tools for that. The Live a Richer Day chart, focusing on non-monetary richness, and the Money Moves map, using those questions to outline 5 simple, actionable steps with dates. Practical stuff. All right, let's dive into habit 3, the monetizing habit, chapter 8. This one feels crucial, appreciating your own value.
Absolutely. The author puts it bluntly. The amount of money you make is directly related to the amount of value you bring to others and your ability to package and sell that value.
Oof, that's direct.
Yeah, and he says this is where many people stumble because, well, if you don't value yourself, your talents, time, skills, abilities, and ultimately your worth, you'll always struggle to figure out how to turn that value into money. It starts internally.
Okay, the Allison Felix story here that really resonated. The most decorated U.S. track athlete gets pregnant. Nike cuts her pay by, what, 30%?
Yeah, huge cut.
And instead of just accepting it, she fights for maternal protections for all female athletes.
Yeah.
Nike refuses. She walks, finds out women's shoes are based on men's feet, starts her own brand. I mean, the courage that takes. What really stood out to you about her identity shift, as the book calls it?
It's such a perfect example. She didn't wait for Nike to validate her worth. She chose to see and appreciate her own unique value so deeply she bet on herself, even walking away from a massive deal. It wasn't about proving Nike wrong. It was about embodying her own value. And that created an even bigger opportunity. It's powerful self-advocacy.
And the author ties this to being different, quoting Sally Hogshead. Different is better than better.
Right. He applied it himself by building his personal brand, starting his podcast back in 2012 when it wasn't saturated, leveraging his unique angle, not just trying to be generically better.
And the core message seems to be, people tend to value us only as much as we value ourselves. That's a tough pill sometimes.
It can be, but it's foundational.
So the book lays out this value appreciation ladder. Could you walk us through those steps?
Sure. Step 1, recognize your value. And this isn't about money at first. It's seeing your unique gifts, skills, talents. The author admits he didn't even see networking as valuable until others pointed it out. So ask yourself, what talents have others seen in me? What problems can I uniquely solve?
Okay, recognize it.
Step 2, give your value. This loops back to habit 1, generosity.
Yeah.
Offer your skills, maybe for free or cheap initially, just to practice and help someone. Your value appreciates every time you use your skill set to help someone else. It builds confidence and goodwill.
Got it. Next is grow your value.
Yep. Step 3, continuously learn, improve, become more aware of the market. Rory Vaden's quote nails it. When you're difficult to replace, your spike goes up. Constant growth.
Then, after growing it, you have to package your value.
Exactly. Step 4. This is critical. Great skill, bad packaging, no one sees it. Build your brand, leverage relationships, ask, who will pay for this, and am I making it easy for them to buy?
And the last step, step 5, is scale your value, which sounds like it leads into later habits.
It absolutely does. Sets the stage for habit 6, but it shows how these build. And crucially, this ladder isn't linear. You keep revisiting the steps and keep internally monetizing. Appreciate your own growth so you don't get caught in comparing yourself to others.
Good advice. The book also cautions, don't wait for perfection. Just start serving someone with your skills.
Yeah, find someone to help. And recognize it looks different for everyone. Volunteering, working for a mission, entrepreneurship. Find your path.
And this idea of redefining gold, overcoming fear. The author's handball experience, no Olympics, but learning discipline. The process was the win.
Exactly. Allison Felix said it too. Success doesn't always mean the gold medal. Rachel Rogers getting 90 rejections taught her resilience is a superpower. It's about finding value beyond the obvious outcome.
Because self-doubt is the killer of dreams. Katie Milkman calls them internal barriers. Overcome them with small steps, growth mindset, positive people.
And helping others, even if they know less, builds your confidence too. It's a positive loop.
The game plan here gives practical exercises. What's easy for me? That's hard for someone else. Great for uncovering hidden talents.
And take one uncomfortable step forward, define your offer, who needs it, then do something scary like pitch it or ask for feedback. Action, action, action.
Okay, on to habit 4, the mastermind habit, chapter 9, cultivating influential relationships. The author's origin story here is pretty wild. Football injury, grows cast, invents a sleeve, finds Tim Ferriss's book, finds a prototype company.
Right. And that prototype leads him to Chris Hawker, an inventor who becomes his mentor.
He interns for free for 6 months, just soaking up knowledge on walks and meetings. That relationship was the bedrock for his whole career. Key idea. Money comes to you when you're ready for it, often through relationships.
And this habit flips that common networking question, right? Instead of what can you do for me, it's what can I do for you?
Exactly. So many people treat connections like transactions, which leads to shallow relationships and getting ghosted.
We've all seen that.
Yeah. The core message is make real connections through authentic service. Like the author's dad, the insurance salesman, genuinely connecting, sending clippings, offering help without expecting immediate sales. The author did the same, offering his skills for free, even just being a bridge connecting people if he couldn't help directly.
And that clearly paid off his early mastermind experience, giving value first, led to significant business growth. If that put good out, get good back idea again.
It keeps coming back. So, to make connections. First, identify who you want to connect with, people ahead of you, experts, potential bridges. Then use those service starter questions. What are you excited about creating? Biggest challenge? How will overcoming it feel? Go deep. Find real needs.
That service to value lever concept is powerful too. Patrick Bet-David's story, a relationship starting at an interview, years of adding value, sending books.
Leads to one referral that opens up an entire state for his business. That's playing the long game with relationships.
Wow. So your value is tied to how many you serve and how well.
Exactly. Consistency, reliability are key. And finding people who want to work with you because you genuinely serve.
The chapter encourages finding financial mentors and joining mastermind groups. But what if you can't afford a high-ticket mastermind?
Great question. The author suggests starting small and free. A money mastermind or book club. He started with a free Think and Grow Rich club. You still get accountability, learning, pushed out of your comfort zone, and the key insight. When you become the smartest person in that room, it's time to find or create a new room with higher level connections.
Makes sense. The game plan actions reflect this. Offer to help. List 10 people. Figure out how you can help. Then reach out specifically.
And start a money mastermind, pick books, invite a small group, meet regularly. Very doable.
Okay, we've reached habit 5, the magnetic habit, chapter 10. The author claims this is responsible for almost everything good in his life. The art of inviting others to get on board with whatever you are doing.
Yeah, it's about enrollment. And it starts with having a compelling vision yourself, like the author enrolling his coach to become an All-American by just saying, I'll do whatever you tell me. Or handing out highlight DVDs at an NFL combine, following up, getting a tryout. He was actively pulling people into his goal.
So, enrollment begins with passion and expands to fill the size of your mission. Ed Milet's advice about selling a dream big enough for everyone else's dreams to fit inside, that's powerful.
It really is. It's about a shared vision. Think about the author's quick chat with Joel Comm. Just 2 minutes, passionate about LinkedIn, not selling.
It gets invited to speak, makes over $6,000 in an hour.
Exactly. Massive opportunity from genuine, contagious enthusiasm, not a calculated pitch.
And the book stresses enrollment isn't a one-time thing. Patience. Persistence. Like the author's 5-year quest to get Tim Ferriss's agent, consistently adding value, building the relationship. Then the agent reaches out. That's commitment.
It really demonstrates that magnetic enrollment is built over time on trust and value. Same with getting Tony Robbins on his show took 4 years, led to that iconic interview on the plane runway.
Wow.
And speakers at his event often aren't paid, but they come because the team invests in making it an incredible experience for them. First class, personal touches, they're enrolled in the mission and the experience.
It highlights the huge difference from those awful, unenrolling behaviors, cold, self-serving emails.
Totally. The way you do your outreach sets the expectation for how you'll treat others. Such a good gut check.
And this idea, every moment you're either enrolling others or being enrolled in someone else's vision, that's provocative.
It is. Your energy, your presence matters. If you can't lead yourself, why would others follow? Not cultivating this leads to isolation.
What was that Grant Cardone story? Misjudging someone?
Yeah, on Undercover Billionaire, he dismissed someone who looked like a nobody, missed a huge investment because he didn't bother to dig into the relationship. He unenrolled himself by judging too quickly.
Ouch. Lesson learned. So it's about being a blessing instead of being a burden.
And your personal power principle. How well you lead yourself determines your personal power to lead others. David Goggins' win stacking, doing small disciplined things first thing, builds that self-leadership muscle.
Okay, so you need to enroll 3 groups. First, yourself. Be someone you'd follow. Integrity, responsibility. Get help if you need it.
Second,
others. Inspire them by serving, celebrating their wins, offering support.
And third, your team. Empower them, align their goals with a bigger vision, make them evangelizers.
And remember, Wayne Dyer, our intentions create our reality. Great enrollers ask, how can I help? Want a raise? Focus on being of greater service. View enrollment like a game. See rejection as just feedback.
The game plan wraps this up. Create your enrolling blueprint. Clarify your mission, vision, how it helps, how people join. Look in the mirror, self-assessment, commit to improvement. And win stacking lists small daily wins. Wow, what an incredible deep dive into these first 5 money habits. From that generous, grateful mindset to mapping your vision with clarity, appreciating your unique value, the power of influential relationships, and that magnetic enrollment. These aren't just theories, are they?
Not at all. They're interconnected practices. They're designed to help you heal your relationship with money and really empower you to build a genuinely richer life. The author makes it clear this is a journey of becoming who you need to be. Cultivating self-worth, serving others, showing up consistently, intentionally.
So here's something for you to think about. If every interaction, every small act, every plan you make is a chance to either enroll or unenroll yourself and others in your vision for a richer life, what new habit will you start today to become just a little bit more magnetic?
Thank you so much for joining us for this deep dive. We hope you're feeling informed, maybe a little inspired, and definitely ready to take your next intentional step. Okay, have you ever found yourself caught in that relentless push? You're working harder than ever, maybe revenue's even going up, but you still feel like you're just drowning.
Yeah.
That feeling deep down that if you want something done right, you have to be the one to do it. It's just exhausting, isn't it?
It absolutely is. It's such a common trap,
Yeah.
really. And a lot of driven people fall right into it, maybe without even realizing it at first.
Well, today we're taking a deep dive into the final and honestly truly transformative habits from our source material on mastering your money story. We're really zeroing in on habit 6. That's the mobility habit, all about smart delegation, empowering others. And then we pivot to habit 7, the mastery habit, which focuses on, cultivating your actual money wisdom. And when we say money story, we mean those ingrained beliefs, the experiences, the narratives you carry about wealth, abundance, your whole relationship with money.
Yeah, those stories run deep.
We're going to show you how these 7 habits, they really weave together to completely redefine that story for you.
And this is, I think, the crucial capstone for the whole journey. These habits, they don't just stand alone. They build on each other, creating this holistic path towards financial peace, towards abundance.
Right.
Our mission today is really to pull out the most important nuggets, the key knowledge, maybe some surprising facts from these chapters. We want to equip you with insights you need to scale your impact, grow your financial intelligence, and ultimately find freedom. Freedom from that overwhelming burden of trying to do everything yourself.
After really digging into these last 2 habits, I was just struck by how liberating they feel. It makes you rethink what making money easy actually means. I'm really excited to unpack this.
Me too. Let's jump right in.
Okay, so we're starting with habit 6, the mobility habit delegate to empower others. And the source material kicks off with this really candid story. The author calls it the trap of the helicopter entrepreneur. He talks about his first marketing company. He and his partner are both strong in different areas. They thought, they'd be unstoppable, but it was kind of a disaster.
Oh.
Yeah, neither of them knew how to hire effectively or how to train people. So he pushed himself like crazy day in, day out, kind of assuming his partner would match that effort, but it just led to burnout. Resentment, too.
Oof, yeah, that's tough.
Totally. And despite revenue growing, they were just drowning in the workload. He paints this vivid picture, calls it an upside-down pyramid, where everyone depended on them. They felt, quote, paralyzed, even though the business was growing.
It's so relatable, right? That feeling of being bogged down by your own success.
That's exactly it. That's the internal battle the author describes so well. And what's fascinating is how common that helicopter entrepreneur instinct is.
Right.
Yeah, the source compares a growing business to a healthy child. Eventually, that child needs to take its own steps, right? If you want your business to walk and then eventually run, you actually have to get out of the way. The choices are pretty stark. Delegate and grow, stay where you are, or fail.
Wow.
Getting out of the way, releasing that control is essential for growth, even though it feels terrifying sometimes. So this idea of leadership over labor really jumped out at me. The source is emphatic, it says. You need others to do truly great things. But for someone who's always prided themselves on doing everything, how do you even start making that mental shift? from just labor to real leadership.
Yeah, that's the million-dollar question, isn't it? It's not just about, like, offloading tasks you don't like. It's strategic empowerment.
Yeah, okay.
The key, as leadership guru John C. Maxwell always says, is that everything rises and falls on leadership. So when you delegate effectively, you empower your team. And Erwin McManus suggests this allows you to leverage your strengths and focus on the parts of your job you love.
I like that.
Right. Be spectacular in a few key areas, leave the rest to others who might be better suited anyway. It's about amplifying your impact through others, not weakening yourself by spreading too thin.
So how do you actually create this leverage? The source breaks down Naval Ravikant's 3 categories: code, media, and labor. For code, it's about using tech. Think automating meeting transcripts with AI that saves time and money, keeps the quality.
Sure.
For media, it's leveraging things like video, audio, content, like episodes from The School of Greatness are mentioned, to multiply your impact. Your message goes further, faster.
Yes, scalable.
And finally, labor. That's delegating to actual people, which for most of us is probably the starting point.
And this really raises an important question for you, the listener.
Yeah.
Where are you spending time right now that technology or other people could potentially be doing? How can you apply these leverage points, code, media, labor in your own life, your own business, to free up your valuable time?
Right.
Because, as the source points out, time really is money. And often, it's our most limited resource.
That's a perfect transition into knowing your worth and when to delegate. The source gives this simple but kind of eye-opening math exercise.
Yeah, I like this part.
You take your annual income divided by the hours you work in a year, say, $50,000 divided by 1,920 hours, just as an example. You get your approximate hourly rate, maybe $26 an hour.
Uh-huh.
Then it hits you with this powerful question. If you could pay someone less than your hourly rate to do something you're currently doing, why aren't you delegating it? It's so direct, almost uncomfortable.
It really forces you to confront that default mode of, I'll just do it myself. But the source doesn't just leave you hanging there. It offers 3 crucial questions to help identify what to delegate.
Okay, what are they?
First, what do I do? Just list everything. Second, what should I do? Meaning, what things can only you do? Your unique genius, your core responsibilities.
Got it.
And third, what should someone else do? Which is basically everything else, even if they can only do it, say, anywhere close to 80% as well as you can.
Ah, that 80% rule, that's key.
Exactly. It's not about finding someone perfect. It's about finding someone capable enough to free you up. Progress over perfection. And for a really practical starting point, the game plan suggests doing a 2-week time audit.
Oh, yeah. Track everything.
Yeah, really see where your time is actually going. It's often, well, shocking.
I bet. And when it comes to actually building a delegating team, there's this great piece of advice from Rachel Rogers. She says, get a personal assistant as soon as you possibly can, not just for the help, but to learn those essential leadership skills.
That's brilliant advice. Learning by doing.
Totally. And the author shares his own really impactful experiences. He talks about Sarah Livingstone, his assistant for over a decade, who helped him organize his, well, chaotic operations back then.
Sounds invaluable.
And Matt Cesarato, his COO, who's actually a longtime friend from college, he uses this cool fire, rocks, kindling analogy. Lewis, the author, brings the fire, the vision. Sarah brings the rocks around the campfire, protecting, supporting. And Matt brings the kindling to really stoke that fire, make it grow.
I love that analogy. It paints such a clear picture of complementary roles.
It really does. It sounds like more than just a team, like a real ecosystem they've built.
It really seems that way. And Matt Cesarato actually provides 4 best practices for effective delegation that are super valuable for anyone listening.
Okay, let's hear them.
First, identify what only you can do, and then delegate everything else. Be ruthless about it. Second, stay flexible, especially in a growing organization. You have to get comfortable being uncomfortable sometimes.
Good point.
Third, budget for experts. Legal, accounting, whatever you need. Don't try to do things that don't, light you up or aren't your strength.
Right, leverage their expertise.
Exactly. And fourth, know your numbers. Discuss them regularly with your team. Make money conversations. As he says, incredibly boring, never surprising.
Boring in a good way.
Precisely. And what really stands out is how the author describes his own shift. His daily focus went from, what will I have to get done or fix today? Which is reactive, right?
Totally. Firefighting mode.
To how do I help make a great team even better? And how do I build a better integrated culture? That's the real payoff of this mobility habit. It's a fundamental shift in focus.
That is huge. It's truly about mobilizing your team to unlock potential. And it's kind of a paradox because the source says delegation is a source of security, not a loss of control.
Right. It feels counterintuitive at first.
But it actually strengthens your weaknesses because you're bringing in others' strengths. And like Lewis Howes put it so well, when you mobilize your team, you unlock your team's greatest potential. It's not about you being less, it's about achieving more through others.
This is where it gets really practical and interesting. The source outlines 5 key pillars, like foundational elements, for mobilizing a team effectively.
Okay, break them down for us.
First, know your mission, understand your why, your intention, and express it clearly. Get everyone rowing in the same direction. Second, set meaningful goals. Work with your team to set objectives everyone feels ownership of.
Collaboration, not just dictation.
Exactly. Third, tap into your self-awareness. Know your strengths, your weaknesses, and encourage your team to know theirs too. Play to strengths.
Makes sense.
Fourth, communicate well. Sounds simple, but it means setting crystal clear expectations, giving regular feedback, and this is critical, creating documented procedures, SOPs, training videos, whatever works, so everyone's on the same page.
Removes ambiguity.
Yes. And finally, fifth, equip your team to get results. This means continuously investing in their training, giving them the tools they need to succeed. The ultimate payoff is clear. You simply cannot do it all alone. If you want to do something truly great, you have to do it with others.
That's powerful stuff, really unlocking that team potential. But okay, for you listening right now, how do you actually start putting this into practice? Like tomorrow?
Good question.
The source gives some immediate actionable steps in the game plan section. First, go back to that 2-week time audit. Really identify your time wasters and those tasks ripe for delegation. I remember doing something similar once, realized how much time I spent organizing digital photos. Definitely not high leverage.
Yeah, we all have those.
And second, try the unlock the strengths of your team exercise. Look at your team members. What are their core strengths, their unique gifts, untapped potential? How can you position them to operate at their absolute best?
And here's a direct challenge. Think about just one task. One thing you can delegate this week. Start small if you need to, but just start. Start freeing up that time and energy. You might be amazed at the impact just one small shift can make.
Okay, so we've explored that immense freedom that comes from empowering others through delegation, the mobility habit. Let's pivot now to something equally transformative. Habit 7. This is the mastery habit, all about cultivating your financial wisdom.
The final piece.
Because, what good is scaling your impact if you don't truly understand the why and the how behind your money? This segment kicks off with a pretty stark reality check from the source.
Yeah, it's sobering.
More than 3 in 4 Americans say they live paycheck to paycheck, and many lack significant savings. This financial literacy problem is just so widespread. And yet, why is money still such a hush-hush topic? Even among close friends, family sometimes? What makes it so hard to talk about?
It's fascinating, isn't it? The source suggests this discomfort often stems from a lack of early instruction, or maybe negative experiences around money growing up.
Like shame or fear.
Exactly. If money was treated as taboo or stressful in childhood, you step into adulthood basically unaware, maybe carrying that shame or fear. And the counterintuitive truth the author shares is powerful. You can't attract more of something good in your life if you're afraid to discuss it.
Wow. So avoiding the topic actually blocks abundance.
It seems that way. He personally overcame this fear, he says, by having guests on his show ask him about his own finances. It forced him to get comfortable being transparent. It really speaks to the power of just opening up the dialogue.
So how do we start those conversations? It can feel awkward.
Right. The source offers some practical conversation starter questions. Things like, hey, what percentage of your income do you usually put toward monthly expenses? Or what's one thing you wish someone had told you about money when you were younger?
Those are good. Less confrontational.
Yeah, they're invitations, really. Invitations to break the silence and just start talking, sharing experiences.
Okay, so talking is part 1.
And mastering money isn't just about talking, though that's crucial. It's profoundly about investing in yourself, your financial education.
How so?
Well, the source lists all sorts of resources: masterminds, books, digital courses, podcasts like this one, meetups. The author's own commitment to lifelong learning really shines through. He mentions investing in diverse coaches: workout, language, therapist, business coach, financial coach.
Wow, that's quite a team.
Isn't it? He says he feels like he's regressing if I'm not improving my knowledge base and growing my skill sets? That's a crucial insight, I think. Growth isn't automatic. It requires conscious, ongoing investment in yourself.
That really brings us to this idea of unmasking money lies. The source references Dave Ramsey, after his bankruptcy, saying, pain is a thorough teacher. It's about confronting those deeply ingrained, maybe inherited false beliefs about money from your past. I think we all carry some of those, maybe without even realizing it.
That's such a powerful point, and it raises a question for you listening. What money lies have you maybe adopted along the way? Jaspreet Singh from the Minority Mindset highlights 3 really common ones people fall for.
Okay, what are they? I'm curious.
First, you need to have a college degree to become wealthy. Now, education is valuable, of course, but this specific belief often leads to massive debt that can outweigh the initial salary boost, creating a burden right from the start.
Yeah, I see that. What's the second?
Second lie. Your main goal should be to climb the corporate ladder. Singh argues this can limit your potential. He advocates for building an alternative route to success, maybe like a side business or investing. Don't just rely on the ladder.
Interesting. And the third?
Third, a savings account is a good investment. He explains that just parking your cash in a low-interest savings account primarily benefits the bank, not you. Your money needs to be put to work. It should be growing, compounding, working for you.
Right, not just sitting there losing value to inflation.
Exactly. And the point here the source emphasizes isn't about blaming whoever passed these beliefs down. It's just about recognizing them, pulling them out into the light, examining them, and then consciously choosing to release the ones that don't serve you anymore. It's about making space for new, empowering truths about money.
Okay, so we identify the lies, we start talking, we invest in learning. What's next?
To really fuel that money wisdom, that momentum, the source introduces a really cool concept, the financial knowledge flow. It's a 3-phase process. Learn, share, teach.
Learn, share, teach. Okay.
Phase 1 is learn. This is about actively reaching up to others who know more than you do. Through books, podcasts, courses, financial mentors, whatever works for you. Soak up knowledge.
Got it. Phase 2.
Phase 2 is share. This means leaning on others who are in a similar place as you, your peers. Encourage each other, support each other, share what you're learning, build that community of growth together.
Nice. And phase 3?
Phase 3 is teach. This is about investing in others who can benefit from what you've learned. Lifting up those maybe with less access or opportunity. Sharing your knowledge reinforces it for you and helps others.
That connects right back to habit 1, doesn't it? The mindset habit, emphasizing generosity. It creates this amazing, continuous, abundant flow of growth where everyone benefits. It's like a virtuous cycle.
Precisely. It fuels itself. Now let's talk about the 7 lessons from Babylon. These are modernized for today's world, but they're timeless principles for building long-term wealth, kind of infused with insights from various experts the author has interviewed.
Okay, classic wisdom updated. Let's hear lesson 1.
First up, pay yourself first. This is fundamental, like the airplane safety demo, right? Put your own oxygen mask on first before helping others.
A good analogy.
David Box suggests setting aside 1 hour's worth of what you earn per day. Kevin O'Leary says just 10% of every single penny that comes in. The key is to automate it. Make it feel like a mandatory but liberating tax you're paying to your future self.
And the trap here is thinking you need a lot to start, right?
Exactly. The source makes it really clear. Even tiny, consistent self-payments build staggering wealth over time thanks to compounding. Just start.
Okay, lesson 2.
Second, control your expenses. Pretty straightforward. Live within your means. Ray Dalio recommends figuring out how long your current savings would last if your income stopped. Then decide how much you want to grow that buffer and automate that savings goal. It's about being intentional with your spending.
It's not just about cutting back randomly, but aligning spending with your goals.
Exactly. Aligning it with your values and your future vision.
Got it. Third lesson.
Third, make your money multiply. Tony Robbins famously says the worst exchange is trading time for money. You need to move beyond just an hourly wage. Explore passive income streams, investments like stocks, bonds, IRAs, 401ks. The source mentions Ray Dalio started investing just for money he earned caddying as a kid.
Yeah.
Small beginnings matter.
Yeah, the real power is understanding your money needs a job. Once you earn it, put it to work for you. Don't just let it sit idle.
Okay, fourth lesson. This one sounds important.
Fourth, protect your money from losses. Absolutely crucial. Ramit Sethi, who's great with the stock market, apparently only checks his portfolio maybe monthly. Why? To avoid making reactive emotional decisions based on daily fluctuations.
Stay calm.
Right. Diversification is key here. And the author is really candid, sharing his own mistakes with angel investing and crypto. He warns, don't invest more money than you can afford to lose. I really appreciate that honesty. We all make mistakes learning this stuff.
Definitely. It makes it more relatable. And his personal experience is such a powerful, don't go in blind cautionary tale. He admits he invested without enough research, lost a fair bit, and learned the hard way to cut my losses and reevaluate my options. It just underscores that mastery isn't only about making money, it's also about protecting it through informed, rational decisions, not hype.
Okay, fifth lesson, own your home and your path. What does that mean exactly?
Well, owning real estate is a classic wealth builder, for sure. But the source extends this idea to also investing in yourself, monetizing your skills, building your own company, creating assets you own. David Back highlights real estate and the stock market as the two main escalators to long-term wealth.
So it's about building equity, whether that's in physical property or in your own capabilities and ventures, creating ownership in your life.
You got it. Not just renting your time or resources from others indefinitely.
Makes sense. Sixth lesson.
Sixth, ensure a future income. This isn't necessarily about becoming TikTok famous overnight, though. It's more about building your personal brand online, recognizing that, as the author says, everything published online is a resume nowadays. And side hustles are mentioned, too, as a way to build a financial cushion and maybe open doors to new main hustles later.
So building multiple streams of income, even small ones at first.
Yes, exactly. That creates resilience, flexibility, so crucial in today's, rapidly changing economy.
Totally. Okay, seventh and final lesson.
And seventh, increase your ability to earn. If you have a business, this means thinking about raising your rates when appropriate, creating more products or services, expanding your marketing reach, implementing more efficient systems and workflows, and crucially, investing in an experienced and dedicated team, which, notice, circles us right back to habit 6, mobility.
See, they all connect.
They really do. And when you connect this back to the author's journey, those angel investing and crypto mistakes, painful but powerful lessons. He learned to cut losses, reevaluate. Contrast that with his success in real estate. There, he did his homework. He diligently studied the market, interviewed experts, started small, built trust in that market like a healthy relationship, he says. It just reinforces that core idea. The more you know, the more you can grow. Informed action beats blind leaps almost every time when it comes to money.
Okay, so for your game plan on this mastery habit, the source suggests engaging with the identify your own money lies exercise. Really dig deep, replace those old limiting beliefs with new truths that serve you better.
That's a powerful exercise.
And also challenge yourself to learn from the best. Binge listen or watch some of the recommended money experts mentioned: Jaspreet Singh, Ray Dalio, Dave Ramsey, Tony Robbins. There's just so much wisdom out there practically waiting for you to absorb it.
Remember, the power of the mastery habit is pretty simple at its core. The more you know, the more you can grow. It's this ongoing journey, right?
Yeah.
Learning, applying, learning more.
Wow. You made it. You came through this entire deep dive exploring all 7 money habits. Just take a moment now, reflect a bit. How have your feelings toward money maybe shifted during this series? Where did you perhaps experience some healing around old money wounds? Which habits really resonated the most with you? I know for me, revisiting that helicopter entrepreneur stuff definitely brought back some memories of early struggles.
Yeah, relatable for many. And it's important to maybe just quickly recap the essence of all 7 habits, see how they truly work together. They form this critical capstone, as we said, to build a richer, more abundant life.
Okay, let's do a quick flyover.
We started way back with the mindset habit, cultivating gratitude, and abundant perspective. Then the mapping habit, intentional planning for your financial future. Then came the monetizing habit, appreciating and packaging your unique value, followed by the mastermind habit, building that supportive financial community around you. Then the magnetic habit, leading with passion, enrolling others in your vision. Today, we covered the mobility habit, delegating to empower your team and scale your efforts. And finally, just now, the mastery habit, continually learning and growing your money wisdom. They really are interconnected, each one strengthening the others.
Beautifully summarized. And as the author really emphasizes, mastering these habits isn't like crossing a finish line. It's a daily discipline. It's really just the first chapter in writing your new money story. It's a new beginning, not an end. There's even a helpful money habit assessment tool in the source material you can use to kind of self-evaluate, pinpoint areas where you want to continue focusing.
And maybe connecting this to the bigger picture, the longer journey. Remember this final provocative thought from the source material. It says, your journey is just getting started. There will be setbacks. Life happens, but you'll be okay. Challenging seasons come and go, but when you are willing to learn and grow through them, you can embrace the opportunities available from them.
That's a powerful reminder of resilience. Challenges aren't stop signs, they're opportunities to learn and grow.
Exactly.
So remember, you are enough right now, and you are always becoming more. Now go out there, live a richer life, and hey, if this deep dive series sparked a new insight or maybe inspired you to take a specific action, share it with us. Tag us on social media. We genuinely love to hear how it helped you on your journey.